Hey guys, hope all is well. Um, Two topics, and these are, as usual, on the self love tip because, in my opinion, self love is the root and then everything goes from there. But they're not as close to the individual as they usually are. My first topic today is why are the men, especially young men, becoming so unmanly? Yesterday, I was getting out my car to pay someone, and this guy passed so close to me that he was less than a foot, so we were in each other's personal space as I got out my truck, and even so, he didn't speak. And I said hello, then because I was looking at him to speak. He didn't plan on speaking. I realized that, and I said, oh, hello then, and he said hello, and just like walked along really quickly. And I said to myself, where were your parents? Why didn't they teach you that you might drop down in the road and the same person that you pass and then want to speak to? I mean, why are we so disconnected? Why are we connected on the internet but not in person? Why are we so willing to be disconnected? And the truth of the matter is, based on my belief is the system of things, and it's unfortunate, but we as individuals, we don't have to buy into what the system says, or we don't have to follow the mainstream in these things. We can make our own choices. And I feel as though the young men especially, but men in general, are so unmanly, especially to women, especially if you're not attractively dressed at the time, or especially if they're not interested in you for whatever reason. And then now we have the dilemma with the gays too, because like then gays aren't interested in women at all. So we have this problem where people are only being courteous to people that they think they can get something from, that they're interested in, that sort of thing. We are not generally nice anymore. We don't know how to be generally courteous, and this is a real serious issue. And the reason why it's a serious issue is because the colder that people get is the colder the world becomes, and the less that people care. And it's funny how like whenever you have an issue or a cause, you want people to care, but when people have their cause, you ain't got no time for that. And yesterday I actually wrote a song saying no one cares, and it's really sad. And I told myself I can't do anything with that song. I have to do a verse or something at the end that says someone cares, because I believe God will always be there. And sometimes when I felt like no one cared about me, God was there for me. So, or when the people who cared about me were out of my access to, but if we're gonna, raise children in the world, and like we want to have this baby, love this baby, but then we don't love another baby except our own. We don't care about what's going on in our neighbor's house. We don't care what's happening with anybody else. We are running ourselves into serious problems. So what can be done? Well, as I said, I want to specifically single out all the young men, because I find young girls, they're more manly than young men. I find that like if I pass a young woman, now I know Mikey had done a post saying that the men were more manly than women in saying thanks, but that's because he's another man, he's a big man, and they might have respected him. And whereas the women complained and said, oh, they felt as though you know he was unfair to women, because sometimes women don't speak because they don't want to get hit on or whatever. My thing is, whoever you are as a person, let that shine regardless of what is going on around you. So if you're a person with manners, you be that person with manners, whether people have manners or not. Like you would tell yourself, oh, I see this person fighting not to speak to me, but there's so many people that fight not to speak to me and I still speak to. Up to the other day, jack up someone, I said, wait, I didn't recognize you, so I was looking at you to make sure it was you to speak, but you ain't gonna speak to me. And he come and hug me up. I say, rebel, oh, I thought you wasn't speaking to me, so what? Are we so stupid? And it's not stupidity that has caused this, It's this whole idea that's been pushed in the media and in the music and whatnot, or being a savage and being so, being disrespectful is almost seen as being cool when you don't need nobody. Well, I got news for you. This whole system is set up, this money system, to keep some people down and some people up. And that's why a lot of people like it. Because as long as they're winning in something, they don't question it or challenge it. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who have died unfairly, a lot of good people who have suffered in this system. So let's not focus on being the best in this system. Let us focus on being the best we can be regardless of the system. So don't worry about what is trending as being cool. You understand? Being a man It's about being a good person, being a strong person, being in touch with your masculinity. You understand? There's a different side to men and women. But it's nothing to do with being unmanly, having sex with multiple women, and creating connections that you don't plan to honor. It has nothing to do with any of that. And I think the reason why these men are so unmanly nowadays is because they get away with it. If they're still going to get jobs, if they're still going to get girls, if everything's going to still work out for them, and they don't have to have no manners, they don't have to have no feeling for their fellow person, the only woman they can speak to is a little catty or whatever, it's not going to change. But at the end of the day, I would like to challenge us, the parents, the people who are already in the system, the people who see the flaws in the system, to continue to shine our light even brighter, in the face of opposition. Let them be your contrast, because they're going nowhere and going nowhere very fast. And it's amazing to me how many young men, I be driving in my truck, got a little lipstick on or whatever, all of a sudden, you don't respond to that, you might get a warning or something. I've even heard of someone tell me the other day, somebody said, oh, she looking good from the back, let's see how she looks when she turns around. There's a man following her, right? That's what they got time for. That's what they could invest in. But as in being a generally kind person, or generally saying morning, maybe opening a door for someone, helping a person in need, they ain't got time for that. The men that work in pan, the ZRs and the minibus got more manners than them. And then they will want to wonder like where all the good women is, or why a woman would take them and take every cent them got and think. There's got two sides to a story, sweetie. Let's fix this problem. And the other thing, as I said, it all comes down to your nurture. So I want to deal with parenting and teaching children to be grateful, because all this manners thing, I am a stickler for manners. Right now, I had a little beef with someone, over manners. You can't call me anytime you feel like, or talk to me however you feel like, especially not if I'm paying you. You need to respect me, and if you can't respect me, I can't business with you. And I'm not going to be unmannerly to you, but I can tell you so. And you know what? When your ego is big, instead of saying that's true, sorry, I should have been more mannerly, you just act out. So you act out. I don't care. Actually, knowing me is going to help you a lot. Not that he can watch this vlog. Well, of course, it's a man I'm talking about. But yeah, women is being manly, and women have their issues too. But, I defend the men all the time, but I really notice in the men. Anyway, back onto the nurture and the children. And I think the reason why we have this problem is because we have this problem, especially with boy children, but with children in general being ungrateful. I'm attending classes, and the other day I went to class. This guy, his mom brought him there. She asked what time class is finished. She's paying for the class. She said he's paying for more than one course. She's asking the teacher how he's getting through. She's really hoping he's doing well. This course is expensive, if you look at it, because it's not expensive in that way, but it's expensive as an extra. It's not something you just pay for your kid to do and hope they do well in it, if it is an extra. There's a lot of parents, especially in this NSRL time, who would find it very hard to find money, to just throw away. So you really want your kid to do well, because you're spending your money on them. And she said, okay, what time did they finish? All right, well, in between his class and the other class, I'm going to go and buy him something to eat and come back. And then she said, bye, all. And he didn't say bye. And me and another mother in the class said, tell your mother bye. And he said, oh, I wave at her, which we didn't see because we weren't looking at him. I'm not saying he didn't wave, but I'm saying that she carried you. She took care of you. She's taking care of you. And when she dead, nobody ain't gonna care about you like how she did. Maybe while she's here, you can tell her bye properly. Maybe you cannot feel so entitled. But you know whose fault it is that he feels these entitled feelings, that he could just do so? Hers. What are we doing with our children? We must teach our children to be grateful. We must show them what life would be like without us. We must show them why God gave parents, why things are like this, and show them to be grateful for simple things, for sunshine, for the fact that our country hasn't been ravaged by some natural disaster, for the fact that this morning they had a choice whether they wanted egg or pancake or oats or whatever. there's little things that we need to be more grateful for. And if we are going to not teach our children gratefulness, they're going to go into the world feeling entitled and expecting that things that are not theirs are to come to them. And when life shows them that nobody really cares, because this is the world we live in, unfortunately, they're going to be throwing a tantrum about it. And they throw tantrums and act out in different ways, because adults are different to children. So I'll tell you an example of adult tantrum. You know, I can't take this. I ain't going to look for a job because the people this and the people that. I ain't going to become an entrepreneur because it's too hard. I can just sit down and smoke a little herb or create some other drug problem or alcohol problem or whatever, which I can't even support because I need something to take the edge off. And I'm not saying that there are some people who really don't have an edge that needs to be taken off. I'm saying this is a spoiled sort of attitude that we have in our society. Even I did a workshop for some girls. The lady who hosted the workshop would attest to this. So many of them were ungrateful. We're teaching them how to cook healthy food. Before they even tasted the food, one girl was like, I can't eat none of that. No, because there was chicken, brown rice, there was vegetables, everybody. There was something for anybody. I can't eat that. But she went and buy chicken and chips. So we were cooking chicken though. And people don't understand how what you eat and what you don't eat makes you so sick, makes you so unconscious, all the different issues that you're going to have. But you're spoiled because here you are in a program for people who are disadvantaged. And rather than taking what you could from program, in the end when I asked her what she learned, she said nothing. But yet while the program was going on, she was able to show me that she had learned lots of things by accident. She was able to make little comments by accident because she didn't know how not to. That showed that she was learning something. And so I want to encourage you today, right? To teach your children to be grateful. Regardless of if anybody else is. Let them be the only person with manners. Let them be the only person in their class with manners. Let them be the only person around that does the right thing at the right time. Regardless of what anybody is doing, we have to do better. That is the only way to create any sort of situation that leads to happiness, that shows yourself self-love, that helps you to heal, to grow. Because sitting down and trying to hold on to bitterness or trying to hold on to a nonchalant attitude and acting like you don't care has been done many times. We can see the results from it. It don't get you nowhere. If you can light them rooms up, light them up. Love you.